So this is pretty cool. This movie takes place in Charlotte, North Carolina. They also filmed this movie in Charlotte. I am an hour and a half away from Charlotte. I live in South Carolina, the upstate, so I visit Charlotte a lot. And so what was funny was they filmed this movie last year, and I saw they were looking for extras. Every time they were filming, I was unavailable to go all the way to Charlotte. And it makes me so mad because I watched this movie, I'm like, I could have been an extra in this scene. Roofman stars Channing Tatum and is about a charismatic criminal while on the run from the police, hides on the roof of a toy store. From director Derek Cianfrance, sorry for butchering his last name, he previously directed The Place Beyond the Pines, and we are talking his brand new movie, Roofman. Now, like I said in the beginning of my review, I'm a little biased for this movie because it was literally filmed an hour and a half away from me. And the story, which is a true story, happened in Charlotte, North Carolina in 2004. Now, I was only 4 or 5 years old when this took place. But the funny thing is, when I left to go see this movie, Mom was like, what is this movie about? She semi-remembered this story happening on the news during that time. And I've actually heard this story before seeing this movie. So it was really cool to go to the movie theaters and see this movie having that like little bias of it being filmed very close to me. I could have been an extra. And obviously I've heard the story of this man robbing these McDonald's and then living in a Toys R Us, which is insane. Like, this whole story seems made up, but it's true. And I looked up a little bit of research before doing this review, and a lot that happens in this movie happened in real life, or at least what the police said it did. And so I can say this: if you're looking for a really well acted and a really just goofy, weird, but good story, this is this movie. And overall, I really enjoyed it. So obviously start with the positives. Channing Tatum gives one of, if not his best performance. I thought he was excellent in this movie. Is this the movie where he intentionally lost all that weight? If it is, good on him, but man, he looked physically like fit this part, because you always think of Channing Tatum as like the bulky, nice looking dude who's very attractive. In this movie, he loses a ton of weight, living in this Toys R Us, eating off of peanut M&Ms, and has to survive there for months before he can really leave Charlotte. And so I thought he did an amazing job. Kirsten Dunst plays a woman he dates in the time frame. She's also very good in this movie. She's very likable, even though she was doing a very North Carolina Southern accent. And there was a few times I'm like, yeah, you are definitely doing an accent, because I just live in this area, so I hear it on a daily. So I could tell she was trying to do an accent. Look, Keith Stanfield's in this movie. He's very small role, but he's good in that little role. Also, Juno Temple's in this movie. I wish they used her a lot more. She is such a talented actress. If you've ever seen the season of Fargo, Ted Lasso, she's been in a ton of stuff. She is so talented. I wish they used her more in this movie. But everyone in this movie is very good. The one actor from Rogue One, he's got a very small role in this movie. But what I found really interesting is just the story. This guy living in Toys R Us, leaving that area to go date this girl. I found that stuff interesting because it's a true story, but when you're watching this movie, in the back of your head, you're like, well, I can kind of see where this is all going to end up. And it doesn't help that, like, I kind of knew, like, the crutch of the ending. I didn't know like how the movie ended or like how things took place, but I knew it was going to end up this way. And so watching this movie, it does a really good job telling its story. Unfortunately, I will say this is a big negative. The pacing is not the best. It's like a 2-hour and 6-minute movie, and it definitely felt long. I would say, like, from the beginning all the way up to where he gets into Toys R Us, the pacing is great. Really good stuff. And then as soon as he meets Kirsten Dunst and he starts to fall in love with her, the movie takes a huge halt and just it slows down, which, again, you have to build the character, you have to build relationship, and they're both good in the movie, but the movie just felt so long. And then once intense scenes happens, then it picks up in the third act, which I will say, the trailer definitely makes it this seem like a silly, over-the-top comedy with a little like intense action. this is really much a drama. I will say this is a drama. There's many moments you see a really saddened Channing Tatum, and he's really good in this movie, like I said. And by the end of it, I would say more of the intense drama moments worked more for me than the comedic moments. The idea of him living in Toys R Us is already funny, but some of like the gags and the comedic dialogue they do didn't feel as needed in my opinion. But again, you gotta make a movie, you gotta make it entertaining, you can't make it just completely dull. And for such a crazy true story, I get why they went that direction. So in the end, getting rid of some of the bias, obviously it being filmed an hour away from me, I thought it was really well acted. It was really well directed by the guy who did Place Beyond the Pines. The movie was shot on film, by the way. Looks really good. There's some great set decorations of toys, TVs, clothing. Like, seriously, the production design did such an amazing job making you feel like it's 2004. And so is it shooting on film. Like, it just looks like you're filming an old movie, like on home video, like that grungy look. It looks so damn good on a movie theater screen. So I love everything about that. So in the end, it's a really good movie, but not like the best movie of the year or anything. I'm going to give Roofman a B. Again, all I really will say is, like, the poster shows him in a teddy bear with a gun, whatever. Don't go into this movie thinking it's going to be a super silly, fun time. Go in knowing this is a drama. There is intense scenes in this movie. It is very dramatic, but it does have its lighthearted moments. Channing Tatum plays a very charming person. He's very likable, even though he's doing bad things. But in the whole movie, and the true story is, this criminal man was very nice. And so it was cool to see Channing Tatum do this role. I thought he was very good in this movie. And if you guys do this movie review, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.